Today, we're really fortunate to have Rick Hefner come and share his expertise on scams and all kinds of things on the internet, what to be aware of and how to protect yourself. So I think it's going to be very informative. Just a reminder, next week is going to be the Long Beach Gay Pride Parade. If you're interested in walking, let me know. I won't be here next week, but we will have a speaker. Dr. DeSantis is coming back, so he'll be fabulous as always. On Michelangelo, yes. So it'll be really interesting. So let's go ahead and get started because I'm sure there's a boatload of material. Thank you.
Okay, well, first of all, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I told one of my friends, I was talking at my church on Mother's Day about scams, and he said, "You mean like the flower industry and, greeting cards?" I said, no, that's not it. But so anyway, it's a little bit about my background. For those of you who don't know, I spent my entire career in engineering and corporate management. I worked for TRW, Northrop Grumman Aerospace Corporation. I'm working now in charge of one of the departments at Caltech. And throughout all of that, I've been interested in cybersecurity. I've worked with computers all my life. I actually went to Northrop Grumman Hacker School, where they teach you how to be a hacker. And the idea is, if you know how a hacker thinks and how they work, then maybe you can protect your company's assets from hackers. It's scary how quickly even somebody like me can learn enough tools that they actually have hacker conventions where they teach bad guys how to be bad. I mean, it sounds like a cartoon, but and for like $100, the typical high school dropout can buy a set of computer programs that can hack pretty much anything. So we could talk for a long time about things and different kinds of hacking, and maybe I'll come back and we'll talk about some more exotic things later on. But today what I want to do is talk about some really practical, pragmatic things. And there's a very important reason of this. I'm personally aware of several thousands of dollars that people in this church have lost due to hacking. That's just my own awareness, just from talking to people and understanding what they've done. Luckily, I've also been part of helping, several people prevent losing tens of thousands of dollars. So I want to share with that. They're up there making copies of the slides now. I don't know what's taking them so long, but hopefully they'll be back with some slides. And so everything I'm doing here will be copies we can hand out to you before the day's done here. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the common scams that are out there and give you some practical things and trying to leave you with a package that you can use later on here. So please feel free to ask questions. This is expected to be very interactive here. So first of all, let's talk about Facebook scams. Okay, maybe you've received this. You've received a friend request. Somebody wants to friend you on Facebook. Oh, here we go. We got copies. Yeah, you want to hand out? Maybe one per family here. Looks like we could maybe use a few more. Yeah, I think so. Why, do you need it a little louder, Rosie? Okay. Okay, let's do this. Okay. How's that? Is that better? Okay. Good. I'll try to use teacher voice here as well. So you get a friend request from somebody, you think, I thought I already friended them. Well, that's okay, I'll just friend them again, right? I don't want to hurt their feelings, right? That's a scam, right? And the point of the scam is, if you friend somebody who's a bad person, right, that person's going, their information on their feed is going to show up in your feed. And so that's how they give you a virus or something bad. A lot of times what they really want to do is basically grab your address book and then spoof you, basically pretend to be you and get all your friends to re-Facebook them again. Here's the big thing to understand. They haven't really hacked you, right? Your password is safe. You don't need to change your password. They had nothing to do with your actual Facebook account. All they do is they have robots. These are robots, they call them spiders, and they go through the internet and they look at everybody's Facebook page, and they take your photo off your Facebook page, right? And they just open up a new Facebook account, and they just use your photo. I could do it myself. I could take a photo of any of you, and I could just start it. Or, without the right controls in place, I could take your photo off your Facebook page and just pretend to be you, okay? So it's a really simple, it's a really easy hack. These automated robots can just do that across all of Facebook. But there's some pretty simple things you can do to protect yourself against that, because it's a nuisance to your friend, and worse, you would hate for one of your friends to refriend this bad guy, and as a result, get a virus or something worse for them. Okay, so the first thing is, you can protect yourself is, if you get something you think that's already my friend, you could just make a phone call. Hey, Rich, I got another friend request. Did you send me another friend request? And Rich said, no, I don't know anything about that. And then I wouldn't refriend this bad guy who's pretending to be Rich, right? So that's maybe the simplest way to protect yourself. Those of you that are a little bit better, maybe use Facebook a lot, you could tell that a Facebook account is a fake account. First of all, you could look and see if you already have that person friended. If you did, there's no reason why they would refriend you again. Facebook won't even let them do that legitimately. Secondly, when you look at these fake accounts, if you look at the details of that account, they have no other photos. They have no about information. There's no relationship information, addresses, likes, friends, there's no videos. So either that person has the most sparest of lives and have nothing to share on Facebook, or this is just a hacker. When hackers do this, when the automated robots do this kind of cloning, basically making a copy of your site, all they do is take your picture, so they don't do anything else. So that's kind of a way also you could tell. Better, though, is to prevent your Facebook account from getting these kind of bogus friends attack, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And you can also prevent your Facebook account from being cloned, which is going to keep them from, somebody else from cloning you, from basically posing as you, okay? So here's an example I got, right? This person wants to be a friend. By the way, sometimes they're just bad guys and they have sort of typical photos. If you look up that photo there, my wife would say you don't need to friend her. And sometimes it's very tempting, and there's typically a provocative photo and it's somebody you don't really know. That could be that. Also, sometimes you'll see a picture. I don't know, the latest craze is they'll put young Oriental women far away, so you can't really see the face. You just see this kind of very slim body. That's kind of a typical one now. So those ones we kind of all know as guys, but we don't need to be talking to those people and doing anything with them. But a lot of times what? Alan gets those all the time. Well, you know, that's nothing Alan's doing wrong, by the way. I got you covered, Alan. But a lot of times it looks like one of your friends. You get it for somebody you think you know, and of course there it is, okay? The big thing is you're not hacked, right? If you want to tell people there's a bad friend out there, but I'm going to give you some more practical things that you can do for that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Every Facebook has a unique identifier. So if someone is mimicking you, I can tell that it's not you because I can see the identifier is wrong, or it's a different identifier, which means it's not the same one I think of as your identifier. So it's like they have a different social security number, and I could tell that's not really Bill. Okay, so here's a series of steps that you can do, and again, we'll give copies of this out to everybody so we can do that. So you can change your Facebook settings so you prevent these sort of external requests from people who don't really know you, okay? And so what you do is you go to your profile there in the back, right? you go to settings, right? Under settings, you go to default audience settings. So there's a lot of stuff, and Facebook changes this sometimes. But right now, you'd go to default audience settings. And then under audience and visibility, right, the next thing you go is how people find and contact you. And finally, after all that, you get down to the setting that you want. And the setting here is who can send you a friend request. And the bottom line is you don't want everybody to send you a friend request unless you're trying to hook up with, you know, old friends from high school, or, you know, your work from the, you can do that, you can say everybody, but then you're going to be exposed to all the hackers who want to go off and friend you, okay? Instead, you can take that little drop-down menu that says everyone right there, and you can change it to friends of friends. That's a safer thing, because then only your friends and friends of your friends can connect with you. So let's say Judy and I are friends, and Guy is also a friend of Judy's, right? Then Guy could reach out and friend me. But changing it from everyone to friend of friends means not all these hackers can't necessarily reach out to you, okay? Still doesn't mean that a friend of your friend might be a hacker and might reach out, but it would reduce the number of these that you actually get. Okay, so that's a way to protect yourself. Your friend could have a fake friend, yeah. So that's it. So that's one thing you can do to prevent yourself. Okay. The other thing you could do is you can make it harder for people to clone you. So clone you is just like, you know, when we talk about cloning sheep and stuff, they make a copy of a sheep, right? Someone's actually making a copy of your Facebook page. So you can do that too. What you want to do is make it hard for the robots to get your photo. Okay. And so the way you do that is you go down again to your profile, you go to settings again, you go to default audience settings, and one of the settings there is choose your default audience. Okay, so who sees everything that you post, right? So you can say public, and then everybody will see. If that's true, if everybody can see that, means I can go get your photo. All I got to do is see your photo, and I can copy it. Okay? So I have mine changed to friends. Only my friends can see the stuff I post. I don't need everybody in the universe to see my posts. I might share it with my friends. That's why they're my friends. So that means only my friends could clone my page. And I trust none of you are hackers, right? When you do that and click next there, you're actually going to get a whole bunch of information. And those of you who are more sophisticated on Facebook can adjust that kind of thing. And so you can say, well, I'd like everybody to see my posts, but I only want certain people to see my photo or whatever, right? The easiest thing, as long as you prevent the general public from not seeing your Facebook photo, your profile, right? Then the robots can't get at your picture, okay? So I personally keep mine set at everyone, and the reason why is I go off and kill all of your the people that clone your pages when I see them. So I get 5 or 6 requests a day for people to friend me from you in the church and my other friends. I get additional requests, right? I got a request from Dale this week, although Dale and I are already friends, so that kind of raised a suspicion. And so what I do is I just kill those spammers when I do it. Now, it's a robot, so it's relentless. It keeps happening over and over again, right? But, you know, it's like you got to pluck every weed you can find, right? Those of you who've got some Facebook skills, you could help, right? So there's a way to report a fake Facebook account. So if you knew a Facebook was somebody faking, right? Here's a request I got from one of my friends, Kenneth. And so you click on the 3 dots, you get that little menu, you say, I'm going to report this profile. And you say, well, what's the problem? And you say, well, they're pretending to be somebody. And they say, who are they pretending to be? A friend. And then they say, well, which friend? And as you start to put their name in, their friends came up. So I put Ken in, and you could see it showed several of my friends that I'm already friends with. And then all you have to do is then select Ken Nidifer. And what happens is that reports to Facebook. They investigate that. They look at the cloned page, and they say really quickly, oh, yeah, that's not the real Ken Nidifer. We can take it down, okay? I would love to see Facebook put put in things to automatically take care of this. Because if in 30 seconds I can spot a fake, Facebook should be able to do that, but somehow that's not what they're doing right now. So, yeah, that would work too. All right, Dale. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So there's a number of us crime fighters out there that do that kind of thing. So if you got skills like that, Bill, I know you got those kind of computer skills. Other people, you could report fake Facebook accounts too. Okay. Any other questions about the Facebook scam? That's one I see a lot. Yeah. 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 You can report those people. I will say a lot of times Facebook is pretty generous on, well, did they ask you for money? No, they just seem kind of scammy, and they won't take them down if they just kind of seem, it's like telling a cop, hey, this person's a little too friendly. Well, did they touch you? No. Did they take your wallet? No. Well, then I can't really do anything. They can kind of be. What they want to do is connect to your Facebook page. Once they do that, right, everybody look at their feed, and see all the things that your friends are doing and the meals they're eating, all the great places they're going, right? What they'll do is they'll put a video in the feed. So let's say someone clones you, Judy, and I get a request for Judy Hatley wants to be your friend, and I'm not thinking, and I go, yes, sure, of course I'll be a friend with Judy, right? Now I'll see that scammer's feed. And what they'll do is they'll put a video, hey, look at this great vacation spot. And I'll see the video and think, oh, I want to see Judy's vacation spot. And I'll click on the video. Once I click on the video, I've got a virus. Okay, just watching the video on Facebook. Okay, and then it's in my feed. They've got my feed, and now they pass it to all my friends. And so boom, boom, boom. And the idea is to pass a virus. And we'll talk about some of the different viruses, but the worst viruses are ones where they lock up your computer and then they ask you to call a number. They call that ransomware, right? Software that is basically off a ransom. And then you have to call to unlock your computer, or you have to have somebody like me who knows how to get those people off. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So in general, so just as a general rule of thumb, you shouldn't be opening any attachments, videos, photos, anything sent to you by somebody who, if you're not exactly who that is, who sure that is. The ones on the top of Facebook are safe because Facebook guards against those, right? It's if you got an email or a text message, we're going to show you some examples of that with like a video, like, oh, I think I saw your picture in the paper, right? Click on this link. Those are all viruses. Those are all viruses. The idea is to get you to click on a link. It's really easy to embed a virus in a website that you go to, or in a video, and you'll never know it. It's like it's like catching a cold from somebody. You may not know they have a cold, you might still catch it. All right. That's why you also don't go to websites that are not reputable. You don't go to Church Girls Gone Wild or something, because you're gonna get a virus from those kind of websites. They do that. Safe places are things like YouTube, right? Or a known news site or something like that. You could take something like Google and search and find a site, and you can still find bad sites that have bad stuff on them. Okay, so it's just careful. I wouldn't kiss every random stranger on the street, and I don't look at every random website. And just because somebody says, hey, you should go kiss that girl over there, doesn't mean I'm going to go do it, because you can get some kind of a bad disease, right? And so you can get some kind of a virus from just going to websites or opening things you don't know that you're opening. Okay? All right, let's talk about a little bit more about that. Okay, fake texts or emails pretending to be some sort of company or pretending to be somebody you know. This is called a spoofing attack, okay? And a spoofing attack. So how many of you have ever gotten some kind of text like this? Oh, your FedEx package is ready, just click here and we'll tell you how to get it. Or, your bill is overdue, we need you to click here and pay it. Or, the Nigerian prince wants to give you $1 million. All of those things are bad guys. None of that is real. FedEx typically doesn't contact you that kind of way, right? And you can always see that that if you look at that blue, that's the URL, that's the website. You can see it's not anything that looks like a FedEx website, so of course that's not going to be. Now, by the way, sometimes they'll put FedEx something, to make it look like they're just kind of pretending to be FedEx there, okay? What? FedEx or FedEx Extra or whatever, FedEx Plus, right? So you're just going to get these. They randomly get a hold of your phone numbers. They can, we can look up phone numbers on the internet and other places that don't necessarily protect your sensitive information. So anybody knows your phone number could send you one of these, right? And they know your name, hello, Nazi, they know who I am. I get these all the time. I probably get one or two a day that says, hi, are we still on for lunch? Okay. And it's a number I don't recognize, okay? Just delete those. Don't mess with it, don't engage with those. Anytime, if I contacted, I would write, hi, this is Rick, are we still on for lunch, right? You would know it's me, and you would know it's my number because my face would pop up, right? So anytime somebody's kind of randomly reaching out for you, they don't have your best interests at heart. They're trying to do something. So the whole idea is to get you to click on the link, because once you click on the link, they've got you. At that point, they can give you a virus. Some of these viruses are really bad. Some of them lock up your computer and then they demand money to get them fixed. That's happened to several people in this church. Sometimes they put what's called a keylogger on your computer, which means they can tell everything you type. Now, why would they care what you type? Well, what they want to do is watch you type your bank account information in, your password for your bank account. Now they've got your bank account, right? Some of them can actually turn on your camera on your computer and turn it on without looking like it's doing. Doesn't that feel creepy, right? So you don't want any of that, right? So ideally what they want to do is take you to a fake website. If you clicked on this one, you would go to a website, which I'm going to show you this examples of in a second, that looks exactly like the FedEx website. It's an exact perfect duplicate. And it says, here, log in here, and we'll tell you where you can pick up your big package of cash, right? And when you log in with your Facebook account, aha, now they have your Facebook password, or your FedEx password, or your bank password, or your credit card password, or your Amazon password. Anything that once they log into it, your Southwest password, they're going to go buy tickets. This has happened a lot to a lot of people in this church. Yeah. You can block the address. The trouble is, let's see, you can rail against the light. The trouble is that these people buy blocks of addresses. They'll buy 1,000 addresses and they'll send it. Anybody get, I'm saying this like this is not possible, but anybody get a phone call and you say hello and there's no answer and there's no answer, and then a robocall picks up, hi, would you like aluminum siding? Would you like to get your pet laminated? Whatever the issue is here, right? So you go, oh, I don't want to get talk to those guys anymore, and I'll block that number. Well, the trouble is they have thousands of those numbers, so they just call you from a different number. So yeah, you can do it. Sometimes if it's a low grade bad guy, that'll stop them. Most of the hacks now that you'll get are actually bands of criminals. Often they're from other countries, and it kind of rotates. Romania was doing it for a while. Poland was doing it for a while. Some of the South American companies. Russia had some criminals. So it's not about any country. It's just about any place there's organized crime. This is a very profitable thing to do. It takes a few computers and some phone banks, and they got it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So just again, like my suggestion earlier, why don't they charge people $20 to open a Facebook account? That would make it really hard. You would have to give credit card information and identify yourself before you could even create an account.
Yeah.
That would help a lot.
Very simple. And there's simple things they could do that just no incentive for them.
Yeah. And the other thing is, why does the phone company sell blocks of 1,000 numbers to random people?
Again, good question.
So why don't we write laws to get rid of some of this crap?
You know, that's tempting. I will tell you, I'm just one of those people. I'm a free economy guy. I'll just admit that right up front. I think it's tough to stay ahead of the bad guys. It's like, why would we ever have computer viruses? Don't people fix them? Yeah, but the bad guys just invent them as fast as we fix them. So there are some probably simple things that we could do, or they could do, but they don't. Yeah. Yeah, RoboKiller's good. That's probably one of the best ones for your phone. It will kill most of that. I had just a really simple idea. When I call the phone and I say hello and no one says hello back, I hang up immediately. All right. Other people, I've heard other people use those compressed airs in people's phone, but it's a robot talking to you, so you're not really hurting anybody until you really seem like you might be interested in having your pet laminated. You don't really talk to a real human. Anyway, they want you to go to this website. So again, just be careful on clicking on things you don't know where you're going, right? Okay, so how would you protect yourself? Okay, so first of all, never click on a link in a text. If I really thought FedEx had something for me, I would just go to the FedEx website. And if FedEx really were sending me a text, they would say, we're contacting you about order X. And I would go to the true, FedEx.com. What I knew was a website, not their link, my link. Also, don't look at the link and say, oh, that's FedEx.com. I can click on that. They can make it look like it's FedEx.com, but when you go there, it's actually someplace else. It's really easy to write that blue thing, whatever I want, but then actually take you someplace else, okay? So I would just open up a browser and go to FedEx.com and put in my order number. If somebody sent you a text and says, there's a problem with your account, please call this number. I never call that number, right? I look up the number for that company, and I call them and I say, is there a problem? Okay, I got a message that purports to be from you, okay? If I got a call and they said, hey, this is Dale, could you go leave, $1,000 in the church, steps for me, I would probably say, I'm not sure this is Dale. Well, yeah, no, I'm really Dale. He'll call me back at this number. No, I'm going to call Dale at Dale's number and see if he really needs me to leave him $1,000, and he probably doesn't. It's really interesting. A few years ago, I got an email, one of these emails, and it said it was from Rita Cook, and the email said, hey, dude. It's like, I don't think that's Rita. Anyway, that's it. Let me show you what one of these kind of fake things. Okay, so here's one. It was from a link like this for PayPal. PayPal, we've got money. We just need you to verify who you are, log into your account, and we'll give it to you. One of your friends is trying to send you a bunch of money. Oh, great, right? So if you go and look at the website that they would have clicked on, okay, that doesn't really look like a PayPal website, right? Notice that the name is off. It's not paypal.com, it's paypal.com-us.cgi, blah, 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 right? That's not the PayPal account. But notice that it looks exactly like the PayPal account.
And there's a convenient place there to put your username and password. And once they have that, they immediately have your username and password. Now, there's not a person behind that. There's an AI engine behind this. So the second you put your username and password in, a second later, they've logged into PayPal, that robot's logged into your PayPal account and sending money from your account to the bad guys. Okay, that's how they do this. Okay, so anytime I'm putting my username and password in someplace, I want it to be a site that I go to myself, not some link that I click on. Okay, it takes an extra second, but that's it. The other thing is you can also look and make sure that the sites are secure. So if you look at the start of the URL, the start of the name of the website there, right, there's a little lock in the corner. You can probably see that on any of your browsers, whether you use Apple's Safari or you use Chrome or you use Firefox, right? Or heaven help you use what's the new Edge? You know, if you use Edge, you're beyond help. I need to give you a different lesson. So if you notice, if the lock is closed, that means it's a secure site. Okay, more than likely it's who it says it is. One of the ways you can tell bogus sites is the locks are open. I never put sensitive information if the lock is open. It means the lock is opening specifically means anybody can see this information on the web. So the bad guys that just have things that sort of just watch web traffic in general, if it's locked, they can't see your username, password, but if it's unlocked, then anybody who's sort of perusing the web with the right software could see that. So they don't put any kind of sensitive information if it's not locked. Also, most of the browsers that we mentioned will also often pop up some information, like a little window that says, you're about to put sensitive information into a unsecured site. Do you really want to do this? Right? So sometimes they'll warn you, but sometimes they don't. Anyway, don't believe your eyes, right? Looks like PayPal, it's not PayPal. Okay, let's talk about browser hacks. Okay, here's a really simple one. Happened to one of my friends, right? They're cruising along on the internet, and all of a sudden, all these windows pop up, and their computer's frozen. They can't do anything. They can't move. Nothing they click on seems to work. And it says, oh, yes, you know, thank God we're here. We've helped you. You have a really bad virus, and just call this number, and we'll help you get rid of it. Okay? This is one of the most dangerous scams on the internet. Okay? And the danger starts when you call that number. Those numbers are always bad guys. Microsoft does not give you these kind of warnings, and they do not help you out. Google does not help you out. Bill Gates is not going to come to your house and personally repair your computer. Okay? Anybody that says, hey, I'm here to help you, right? If you were in your house and somebody came up and knocked on your door and said, hey, I noticed a bunch of your roofing tiles are missing, but I can fix that. Can you let me up and I'll fix your roof? You wouldn't do that, right? Because no, right? These are really, really bad guys. We have had several people in the church fooled by this scam. They think, oh my God, I got to do something. You know, often there's some urgency. Don't do this in 10 minutes, or you know, bad stuff is going to happen. And there's a number. When you call that number, they say, great, thanks, good that you called. Hi, we're from Microsoft Windows Defender. We just need to log onto your computer so we can take off this bad virus you have. Okay? You say yes, they put some software. Once they've logged on to your computer, really, really bad stuff starts happening. Okay? They put viruses on your computer which give them total control of it. Now they can look through everything, look at anything you've got, pull all of your passwords off of your computer, anything you've ever put into a website. They get a hold of all of that, right? Get a hold of your bank account information. They put other viruses on. They put ransomware on there that's going to keep your computer locked up. And they started out pretty simple. Okay, we fixed it, and that's only going to be $200. Okay, a little more than I thought. Okay, $200. 2 weeks later, comes up, oh, you have a more difficult version of the virus. We're gonna have to use a stronger tool. We'll put that on there, but it's gonna be $400 now. And then 2 weeks later, gosh, you got that really bad one. That's $1,000 to get your thing, and it just keeps going from there until you run out of money or they run out of patients. Okay, never, ever, ever call that number. Never, ever, ever click on a link. These people are not your friends. These people are the worst of all kinds of gangsters, and they're just holding it. Okay, now, the good news is it's probably not a virus. It's probably just a really simple way to lock up your computer. There are 2 versions of this scam. One is where you actually have the virus. One is they just make it look like you have the virus, okay? So typically, often if you get this and you start panicking, right, you can simply close your browser, you know? So you can close your browser. So you should be able to find that red X on your browser, or do you Control-Alt-Delete if you know how to use that and find and stop that app, right? That's a typical way to kind of kill it, okay? If you can't do that, you could do what's called a hard restart on your computer. And that is you find your power button, you just hold it down until the computer completely turns off, and then you just restart it again. Worse, you find the power cord, you can just pull it. Pull it back in and put it. Any of those will really, really work. But usually just closing your browser and restarting it does. Same thing if you get this, oh, we know what you've been looking at. We know those websites that you went to, and you know, we've logged your information. We're going to tell all your friends what you're looking at unless you call this number. And you know, those people don't know what you're looking at. They don't know anything. They're just fishing around. They probably figure that you've done something wrong, and you know, they'll get you somehow. So again, don't panic. And just as a general rule of thumb, everybody should have an antivirus on their computer installed at all time and up to date, you know, with a subscription, etc. You can buy a subscription service if you want to, like Norton, okay? It turns out Defender, who they're spoofing here, they're pretending to be Defender, but Windows Defender is actually a perfectly good antivirus. And it's free, and it comes on any computer that you have bought over the last 10 years. So that have that. And so if you're paying for an antivirus, I can help you uninstall that so you don't pay a fee and just use the free Defender, because it's a perfectly good antivirus. Or we can install one on there for you. So, okay? So very common hacks. If you really have a virus, okay, if you're kind of computer savvy, you could run like a major virus checker program, right? Sometimes the stronger viruses can get past the normal antivirus. You might have Norton on your computer, or Defender, or McAfee, or something like that. Stronger viruses can get past this. There's a premium tool called Malwarebytes, okay? Malwarebytes comes in a free and a premium version. The free version is perfectly fine. You can install that on your computer and run Malwarebytes, and it will find most of the bad guys. Or call me. This is my ministry in the church, is I help people with computer problems, and I hate to hear my friends get ripped off. And so call me. If you think something sounds suspicious, call me, right? If you're not sure, call me. I know a lot about these kind of hacks, and so we'll talk it through, and I'll say, okay, yeah, you have it. Most of the time, you don't have a virus. Most of the time, somebody's just trying to scam you in some way, okay? Yeah.
Separate from my computer, even though they're linked. That implies just making a call. Can they get into your computer, or do you have to log in or do something?
They have to log in. The trouble is, it'll sound nice. If you call it, you're just calling a bad guy. You're just calling a guy, okay, give us your credit card number, right? Or pay for something. That's all bad. And the bottom line is, none of these people want to help you. Nobody who can help you will give you their number like this.
But calling a number by mistake.
Calling a number, if you didn't give them your credit card, you're okay. You didn't.
Okay.
If you didn't give them a credit card and they didn't connect to your computer. If anybody called a number like this and gave them your credit card, go cancel your credit card. immediately, okay? And look and see if there are any bogus charges on that. If anybody called and you let them take over your computer, talk to me, I'll come to your house, we'll run a suite of tools and we'll get off whatever they put on there, okay? The only reason they want to take over your computer is to put more bad stuff on your computer, and they do it without you seeing anything. It's nothing that you can see on the screen. It happens all behind the curtain, okay? Okay, if any of you think you might have been hacked or something, come talk to me about it. I'm happy to discuss it. Yeah, Rosie.
For anything, and then later all these pop-ups come. They've discovered that you've been shopping for X shoes.
Yeah.
Is that something you don't want to click on?
Let's see. Generally, those are not bad things. Those are just good marketing, or maybe not good, but strong marketing, right? If you bought an Indian rug, you might get a pop-up that says, "Hey, would you be interested in a trip to India?" Generally, those are not bad things, and you can click on them and make your own choices about it. I would say there are companies that are more reputable for selling, and there's companies that less. Amazon, I wouldn't worry to buy anything on Amazon. That would be perfectly fine. There's a company called Temu, T-E-M-U. I think they're a little shaky, right? I bought a couple things from Temu. The quality's been incredibly poor, such that I won't buy anything from them anymore. It looks good. It's a great prices on things. It's kind of like just any place you might shop. Just consider where you're shopping. Is this really a place you want to buy something for? Could you count on this place? And do they have things like money back guarantee? Amazon, I get something, it's not what I thought, pop it back in the mail, we're all done, right? Some of these other companies, I bought something, it looked like a really good rugby shirt. It did not turn out to be a really good rugby shirt. And when I tried to return the $30 rugby shirt, they said, we'll have to charge you a $50 restocking fee. Well, okay, so I won't be buying anything from you anymore. So I just beware of the company you're buying from. Yeah. Oh, let's get a mic here coming over. Give her some mileage here.
I don't know if this actually does any good. So my question, Rick, is when I use something that requires a credit card,
Yeah.
or I purchase something from Amazon, even though they have my credit card, whenever I'm dealing with a purchase of airline tickets or anything, what I do is go up to Safari and clear history. Does
Yeah.
that do any good at all?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really. Biggest thing is you're going to buy something, look and make sure there's a lock in the corner of the website, right information. And I'll tell you, I use a separate card to buy things online with.
That's
Right.
what our computer friend told us. He had a separate
use
card
a-
for his Amazon account.
I do.
That he only used for Amazon.
Right, exactly. Or all online things. And the purpose of that is just so you can watch that card more carefully than you might watch the other cards. And then when that bill comes in, I look at that one very clearly. It's interesting. We will go to dinner and we'll hand our card to a waiter we never met who's making minimum wage and could go in the back and write down the number and, buy whatever they want to on it. But those scams, that tends to happen fairly infrequently, okay? Scams with bad websites happen a lot more. So to me, it makes sense to have two cards, and that's the way I do it. But again, be careful who you're buying from. If I'm at a farmer's market, someone's selling honey, and I want some honey, I probably won't give them my credit card. I'll probably hand them cash, just because I don't know this person. I don't really want them to have my credit card. At a restaurant, I would typically, use my credit card if I knew it was some common restaurant that probably screens their waiters in some way. Yeah.
Sorry.
I think I just heard the idea of use cash much more, restaurants, everything.
Yeah.
Just start going back to
My
a cash
wife
economy.
never uses a card. She always uses cash. That's her protection. So she's a good person to mug for a lot of cash if you ever need it. So
Like, I go to a couple of golf courses, won't take cash. It's credit card or debit card only.
that's a whole nother trend we could talk about. There's a lot of people who say we ought to go to complete digital cash, right? Where everything's all electronic. I think that's a mistake just because you're going to have difficulty preventing yourself from people that you don't trust. It's nice to just hand cash once in a while. Okay, phone scams. Okay, so hopefully no one's ever got this one where someone calls and pretends to be a company. Hi, this is FedEx. You have a package. I'd like to talk to you about it. Hi, this is your bank. There's a problem with your account. We think it's been hacked. We're trying to help you, right? Hi, this is the fraud department at Target. We think your card's been stolen. We'd like to talk to you about it. Okay, just remember that somebody calls you, you have no idea who this is, right? So the first thing is slow down, okay? Most scams work by panicking you. If you don't do something immediately, we're gonna shut off your account and you won't be able to get it back on. We're gonna terminate blah, 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 Anytime you hear language like that, it's probably a scammer. Real honest companies don't do that kind of high pressure stuff. So slow down, don't panic. I've never yet seen something where I had to respond in the next 10 minutes, or something bad would really happen. Think it through, figure out what's going on. Ask yourself, did they call me or did I call them? Okay? If they called me, right, I don't know who this person really is. I'm not going to give you my bank account information. Also, most companies like that are not going to call like that to fix something, right? So if someone does call and say, "Hi, I'm from Bank of America, and I'd like, there's been a problem with your account. We'd like to get it cleared up." Say, "Great, thank you. I'll call Bank of America back." Go look up the number for Bank Americard and call it back. Okay, by the way, the companies that do this will call everyone in this room and say, "We're having trouble with your Bank America account." Now, some of us don't have accounts at Bank America. That doesn't hurt them. Doesn't bother them, right? Oh, sorry, my mistake. Let's call the next person on the list, right? So they're just phishing, right? They're just phishing. So hang up the phone and go back. And on the internet, you can always look up Bank of America and find their fraud number and call it back and find out if there's really any kind of a problem. A lot of these are not real. These are just fake people calling you, trying to get sensitive information. Anytime somebody says, "Oh, can I get your social security number? Can I get your password?" Right? "Can I get your bank account number?" No. Unless I'm calling you or unless I'm going to the website that I put into the browser, right, I'm not going to give away my sensitive information, okay? There's a really bad one that's coming out now where people are starting to call and say things like, "Hi, this is your granddaughter. They've captured me, and if you don't send the money right away, they're going to hurt me and do bad things." Okay? And it may very well sound like your granddaughter. Okay? So what I recommend is every family have a safe word or a phrase that's meaningless, right? That you can say, "Okay, honey, tell me the safe word," and see if they know it, because a bad guy probably would know. So what could a safe word be? "I love hot fudge sundaes." Annie and I have a safe word, right? Or actually, it's a whole safe phrase. And if someone calls and says, "Hi, this is Annie, and I need, I forgot our credit card. Can you give me the number?" I'll say, "What's our safe phrase?" And if she doesn't know, then it's not Annie, right? So have a safe phrase, a safe word, something like that you can use to verify it. Also, it's real easy, just call them back. "Okay, honey, you got your cell phone with you? I'll just call you back." "Oh, no, I don't have my cell phone." Well, that's suspicious, right? Yeah, they took it away from him. "Okay, All right, well, where did we go on our last vacation? You can do things to challenge things. The trouble is once you hear some bad guy's got your granddaughter and she's begging, please help me, or they're going to cut my hand off, or whatever they're going to do that's horrible, you just panic, and then you say, of course, honey, of course, I'll wire you the money right away, right? That this scam went around. I'm in Tijuana. I'm in jail, but I can get out if I just give them this much money. Can you wire me the money, or wire it to this person, right? Those are all scams. Okay, a lot of times simply, some of my friends did that, said, calm down, slow down, call them. Yeah, hi, oh, yeah, no, I'm fine. What are you calling for? Yeah, Rich. Yeah, 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 exactly. So, that's okay. You're scamming me now, huh? Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Okay. So, real simple things to do. There's a lot of kind of notes here for that as well. Question? Are we running out of time? We okay? We're still good? Okay. Good. All right. Yeah. Say again, Rich.
I've had 2 or 3 of those grandson calls, and one time I said, "Let's see now, what is your birthday?" And the guy hangs up right away. And then
Yeah.
another one was, "Okay, Joanne," and then his name is Colby. And he kind of keeps on talking, and then I say, "Excuse me, but we got the wrong number," or something like that. Just hang up.
Right. Right. Or did you call Helen yet? Yeah, I called Helen. She's not there. Well, honey, we don't know a Helen. You know, it's really bad. And that kind of leads us, well, and here's just some ideas up there, and that's kind of in your handout just to kind of help you. If they contact you, instead of you contact them, that's not good. If they dangle bait, either money or somebody's safety or something, they want your personal information, if you have to pay them first. Also, ways that you have to pay, right? Bad guys don't like credit cards because you could go cancel your credit card payment. What bad guys want are gift cards. So they'll say, go get gift cards. Unfortunately, we had somebody in the church, and person called and said, there's a problem with your account. We're going to shut off your internet. And this person, internet was very important to them. They said, oh, no, don't do that. And they said, well, then you've got to pay this fee right away. And the way you have to pay this fee is you go get $600 worth of gift cards at Target and mail them to us. And this person didn't call me, unfortunately, and they just went to Target and got gift cards. And the person, you know, people at the stores now, when you buy gift cards like that, they kind of they say, the nice Target employee said, you know, sir, you know, you're getting a lot of gift cards. You know, there's a scam going around where people ask you to send them gift cards. I just want to make sure you're not doing that. And he goes, no, this is legitimate. I need these gift cards. This person's really who they say they are, right? Well, how do you know? Well, they gave me a number to call back, and when I called back, they answered the phone. Okay. And unfortunately, the person gave them gift cards. And then we figured out later they were relating to me, yeah, I had this weird computer problem. Oh, no. And it's like, you didn't get gift cards, did you? Oh, yeah, that's what they wanted. Okay, well, I'll just cancel them. You can't cancel gift cards. You're out. You're gone. It's like you sent them cash. You're done. So luckily, it was only $600, but still a lot of money. Anyway, so don't ever wire money, send gift cards, you know, unless you really know what you're doing, and then go through something like major company that would wire money or something. I've sent money to my friends like that, or I've Zelled or Venmo'd or something like that. But, you know, I've been really clear. I let make sure I've got the right phone number and all those kind of things. Okay, yeah. Yeah, yeah. If you read the card numbers off, they got that right. Yeah, that's what they did here too. Yeah, you just called them back and he read the numbers off, and they didn't even have to send them to them. Okay, so that brings us on to another topic. unfortunately, we're getting really smart. And you've heard me talk about artificial intelligence up here maybe before. And it's going to be amazing. There's going to be some amazing things that we're going to be able to do with artificial intelligence. But also, it's an incredibly good tool for scammers. Okay? So I want to show you something here. Okay? So that's not Morgan Freeman.
To tell you that I am not even a human being. Would you believe me? What is your perception of reality? Is it the ability to capture, process, and make sense of the information our senses receive? If you can see, hear, taste, or smell something, does that make it real? Or is it simply the ability to feel? I would like to welcome you to the era of synthetic reality. Now, what do you see?
Okay, so this is a brand new scam called a deep fake. Okay, a deep fake is where they use artificial intelligence to pretend to be somebody or someone. Okay, we're already seeing it kind of being used. One of the things is if our grandchildren put their voices in videos or Facebook or TikTok, right, or other things, right, then what bad guys can do is they can take those voices and they can train their AI engines to sound exactly like them and make it say anything else. So you could hear a voice on the phone that sounds exactly like your granddaughter or your spouse or your friend, and it's a robot. You're talking to an AI robot that they've made say anything they want to. You can see from video like that, I can make an image, and if I've got some video of that person, or even just a still image, I can make an AI thing like that. That video was made from a free tool in the space of about 2 hours. Okay, all they had was a picture of Morgan Freeman, and you saw a little flashing of faces there at the end. That was all they do is they get somebody to read the lines that they want to say, and then the AI system takes those words, puts it in Morgan Freeman's voice, animates Morgan Freeman's face, body, whatever, does a whole thing. It's called a deep fake. Okay, so that can have dire consequences for us in terms of scams. That can also have consequences. Right now, they're actually, frankly, worried about the next election. I can make a video myself with a limited set of skills that I have, looks exactly like any political candidate that I want to, and make them say horrible, horrible things that would say, well, gosh, if he or she feels that way, I'm not going to vote for them, right? I can make them admit to horrible things. I can make them say horrible things. I can do anything I want to. So we're entering an age where we can't believe what we see. You can't, just because you hear a voice or you see a video doesn't mean it's a real true thing. We've seen that now for about 10 years with pictures. Sometimes you see these, we call them clickbait. You click on them and it's just going to bait you into clicking on something and they get something. The biggest, prehistoric, fish found in Australia or something, and you click on it and there's this incredibly unbelievable thing, or, some close miss of something, or somebody doing something that looks like they caught a bullet in their hand or something, those are all deep fakes. And so how do we tell that? I don't know. Could you look at that video and tell it wasn't really him? Maybe if you're good, right? Trouble is, that's what we're looking at there is 3 years old generation, which is a lifetime in AI. And now it's 1,000 times better than that. So we're going to have to really be careful. And maybe I'll come back later on we'll talk about deep fakes. There's no simple way around that. We're going to have to get much more sophisticated. It's just like I can go to the internet and find something. Oh, I found out that, space aliens are real. I read it on the internet. I don't know whether space aliens are real or not, but just because I read it on the internet doesn't mean it's true. It just depends. Oh, I read it on a legitimate website, Well, even that's not necessarily true. So we're entering a new phase here. Don't want to leave you on a downer, so let's talk about some things. So just as kind of summary here, just some common things about scams. First of all, that's almost all urgent. They're trying to get you to do something before you think about it. So stop, slow down, think, especially call me. Hey, someone called and Bill Gates wants to, no, it's not Bill Gates, right? Somebody wants your personal or your financial information. That's the whole point, is to get at something that they can sell, typically. I can sell your credit card on the internet. I can, and these guys are not the ones to do it. These guys are clearinghouses. They're bad guys. They get stuff and then they sell it to other people, right? Sometimes you'll see spelling or grammatical errors, or hey dude, that's that, or lots of weird punctuation, right? Any kind of claim that you've won something, a large sum of money, a valuable prize, something like that, Bill Gates Bill Gates doesn't want to give you anything. Nobody is going to, if it sounds too good to be true, it is probably too good to be true, right? So sometimes if you click on a link, you get a message. Pay attention to those messages, okay? Now, I will say a lot of times you'll install the free version of some software and they'll want you to buy the premium software package on it. And so they'll pop up and say, your IP is exposed. Right? So a lot of times they're just kind of trying to panic you into buying something you probably don't need. Like, do you know a burglar could get into your house? Do you have a steel door on the back of your house? Well, okay, fine. You're just selling steel doors. Yeah, true, it would help, but maybe the risk isn't that big. So again, you can talk to me about these. I'm always happy to help, and I can usually take those kind of little annoying messages off of your thing. Never use gift cards to pay for anything. Okay. Never allow anyone to take over your computer unless it's me, right? I don't even like it, when you call the Geek Squad, because, you have to be really careful. Note, letting somebody take over your computer, especially remotely, is the worst possible thing, okay? If I'm working with you on your computer, I'm going to come over to your house. Okay, by the way, I don't charge anything for this ever. I never take any kind of money, anything for this. This is my ministry. So if you're having a problem, call me. We'll arrange some time. I'll come over and I'll help you. That's just what I do, okay? Yes?
So I'm sure that Caltech has an IT department that
Yes.
does things like install software for people on their computers.
Yes.
UCLA, they do this remotely.
Yes.
So,
So
I
somebody
have,
like that, I'm
Okay.
okay, right?
well, who knows? Maybe the IT person at UCLA
Well,
is,
Yeah, that's like saying the bank teller could be a bad person, right? It could be, but I tend,
Okay.
they screen IT group people
I
pretty good.
just
So.
wondered how far you wanted us to.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying somebody you don't know or you called or contacted, they gave you their phone number, I wouldn't do that. If you know who you're talking to and you've worked with them before, it's like letting somebody inside your safe deposit box. I would let my family inside my safe deposit box. I wouldn't let a random stranger off the street do that. Yeah, Rich?
Gonna make a not good comment that was UCLA and not Caltech or
Oh.
USC.
Yeah. By the way, our IT department tries to trick us to see if we're weak, so they'll send us like spoofing stuff. There's phishing things and say, hey, this is the Caltech IT department, but they'll make sure it's not really the Caltech IT department. We need your password, No, don't. Quit doing that, right? And I get messages all the time. The thing is, it's really easy to get a hold of your email address. And I don't even have to get a hold of your email address. I can just email everybody at gmail.com to send out millions of emails and say, hey, you know, your account's been compromised. Can you log in here and give us your real password? and I do that for nothing. I mean, the problem with the internet is there's economies of scale. I can send 1 million emails as cheap as I can send one email. So we say, oh, well, they couldn't do that. How much time they would take for, 1 out of 1 million. I only need 1 out of 1 million, and I can send 1 million as easy as I can send one. So the numbers are all messed up on our heads. That's why we don't think of safing ourselves against that kind of stuff. Okay, what other questions you got? Yes. Okay, wait, let's get a mic on you so the people online can hear.
If you have, say, short password, say on your retirement account, if you have a 6-digit password, should you change that to a more complex password?
Yeah,
sort of as
okay.
a general rule?
So let me give you a slightly long answer to that, because it's a great question. Okay, first of all, don't use the same password for all your accounts. Okay? Well, I have trouble remembering them. Don't use the same password. Why? It might be fairly easy to hack into your Netflix account, and if that's the same password as your bank account, I'll go open your bank account too once I've hacked your network account. So you ought to have a different password for every account. Okay, well, how am I going to remember all those passwords? Okay, I'll give you a real quick trick. Start with a phrase, okay? And then add to that phrase in a way that you can recognize something else, okay? So maybe my phrase is hot fudge sundae. By the way, that's not my phrase. And so my hot fudge sundae Netflix password account is hot fudge up through the F, and before the U, I put NE for Netflix. Okay, my Bank of America, it's hot fudge sundae, but after the F, I put BA for Bank of America. Okay, it's the same basic phrase. All I got to do is remember the phrase, one phrase, and where I put the extra stuff associated with that idea. Okay. Second thing is longer passwords are better. Okay. The trouble is if I go to one of these hacker conventions that the bad guys go to, I buy a little CD. The CD has a tool on it, and it says, okay, I want to crack somebody's password. Here, try every password combination of everything. Okay, now most systems have safeguards to do that. So these days, that's not too easy. But you can make it better, okay, your password better by adding a number, okay? Preferably not at the end, like just put a 1 at the end. No, put it in the middle someplace. Put it between the D and the G of fudge, right? Okay, or put a character. By character, I mean an exclamation point, that @ symbol, a dash, something like that. If I put that in, it makes it 1,000,000 times tougher to crack the password, okay? As far as length, 6 is a good number. 6 characters, digits, or letters is a pretty good one. But do that, okay? Now, do I need to change my password a lot? Not really. If you thought you got hacked, you would change your password. But other than that, I don't need to really change my password every week or day or whatever you thought. All right. So a phrase, something that uniquely identifies the website. By the way, don't do hot fudge sundae NE for networks, right? Why wouldn't you do that? Because if I get your network password, for your bank account, I'm going to guess hot fudge sundae BA, right? Bury it someplace so it's not obvious to find it. Okay. What I'll do is I'll use a phrase like that. I'll change the numbers to @ symbols, that little A with a circle around it. Okay. Or I'll change the I to an exclamation point, something like that. Okay. So that's a fairly long answer, but I know so many people. Also, yeah, I know I have trouble remembering my passwords too. So let me just write them down in a book and I'll hide it someplace nobody will ever find, like the center drawer of my desk or right here next to my computer. Okay? Think about, too, that someone into your house and just take your password book. By the way, if I broke into your house, the best thing I could do is leave no evidence that I broke in, right? Because then you'd never know that I took your extra wallet or I stole your grandmother's pearls or something, right? And if I had a key to your back door, I would, every time I slipped in and took something, I wouldn't do anything because I still got the key. I'd like to come back next week and take something else, right? So when somebody hacks into your computer, they never know because they got her in and now they want to get in again. You know, they want to sell it to 100 of their friends to get in. Okay, so you'll never know. It's not like you're going to find a busted door. They're going to sneak in and sneak out as many times as they want. Okay? So if you think you've been hacked, let me know. We can run some simple tools and check that. But yeah, Dave.
Passwords are safe on the phone, on your phone?
You think your passwords are safe on the phone? We all have a certain amount of risks on everything. Okay? I think in general, if you have your passwords listed on the phone and you have your phone locked with a Face ID or password on your phone, in generally that's pretty safe. Okay? They have password keepers where you have to have an extra password. That's also kind of nice. Your browser typically has a password keeper in it. That's fairly safe because you have to be able to log into your computer. That's assuming you have a number to log into your computer. So nobody should take their password off their computer and let anybody log into it because that's real easy. If I break into your house and start your computer and do that. Generally, that's going to be pretty safe. Can I think of a scenario where that could be unsafe? Yeah, actually, one of my friends got hacked and he fell asleep with his phone sitting next to him. The person picked it up and when he went to open his phone, he put to the guy's face, so his Face ID opened his phone for him. Okay, so thieves can be really devious here, but in general, that's fine. Would I put like a little notepad and put all my passwords on there? I might, because my phone is password protected, so I would feel reasonably safe about that. So, yeah, I think something behind a lock of some sort is usually pretty safe. The other thing is, one of the reasons why that is, iPhone is actually really good on safety. Number one, it's really hard to put a virus on an iPhone. That's why we don't typically have antivirus software on our iPhones, because it's structured in a way that makes it really tough. Two, they're really good, like if I grabbed your iPhone and I'm trying to guess your 4-digit or your 6-digit login, after I guess a couple times, it locks the phone, right? And so I can't just guess every 4-digit or 6-digit, right? He said, well, who would sit there and guess every 6-digit combination? I just slip it under the robot and let the robot do all the checking. But Apple is pretty smart. They figured that out. So they, after about 3 or 4 tries, they locked the phone. So yeah, phone I think is probably pretty safe. Our phones are going to be our safest thing these days.
Thanks so much, Rick. We really appreciate it. I'm sure we're going to have more questions.